Echoes of Yearning, written by Emelisa Horlacher. Scene 1. Interior, war tent day. A letter, the last words. The war is over, send the men home. Hands fold the letter. The hands belong to Levi, young adult wearing a captain's colonial-era uniform. He exits the tent. Exterior war camp day. Levi is gathered in front of a group of soldiers. A few nurses are added to the mix.
The enemy has surrendered. Men, let's go home. It's time to start our lives. May each of your journeys bring healing and love. Today is the day we have fought for. Today, the sacrifices are hollowed for our living. Now, let's go home.
The men cheer. Scene 2. The Masquerade Ball. Text. 1 year later. Exterior mansion house, evening. A masquerade ball, colonial era. Interior mansion house, ballroom, evening. Eloquently dressed gentry conversing and dancing in a warmly lit great hall. A young man, Levi, in a fringed green mask, lazily saunters the outskirts of the crowd. Sparkling midnight blue high heels imply that a very lovely lady has entered the hall. Levi glances, then double takes. His jaw is caught slightly agape. Dark hair, a dress like the night sky. Morley scans the crowd. Levi slides his way into her immediate entourage.
Hello, I couldn't help but notice you came alone, didn't you?
Morley surveys Levi from head to toe. She smirks.
Indeed, but I don't intend to dance alone.
Morley extends her hand as Levi bows to it with a grin.
Then allow me to sweep you off your feet.
They join the dance. Their eyes are locked the entire time while dancing. Grandma Franny sits in one of the chairs overlooking the dance floor. A deep frown overshadows her face. Her eyes narrow as Levi twirls Morley. Close up on her narrowing eyes. Close up on Morley and Levi, smiling and dancing. An evil grin creeps onto Gramney's face. She crosses her legs and turns to her companion. Watch. This time next year, I'll have great-grandbabies better than yours to brag about.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Lottie, an older woman with a very wrinkled face, laughs. In staccato-like increments, Granny's face gets more and more disgusted at each ha-ha.
That little grandson of yours is hopeless, isn't he?
Not after I'm done with him.
Aren't you the little meddler?
Yes, I'll meddle. He knows it. He knows he needs all the help he can get.
What a doting grandmother you are.
But it looks to me that my job might be finished sooner than I thought.
Franny sits back as Lottie leans forward.
Like little lovebirds.
Levi holds Morley close.
Who are you?
Well, Levi, wouldn't you like to know?
You know me.
Morley nods.
Go get us drinks, and I'll meet you on the veranda.
She pushes away from him. As she exits, a thump, thump, thump sound accompanies Levi's shining eyes. Exterior, veranda, night. Levi sits beside Morley and hands her a drink. She takes a sip.
So you know me, but I don't know you.
I'd almost like to keep it that way.
Please don't.
You'll be disappointed.
No, I won't.
Morley sighs and takes off her mask.
Morley Vogel!
He bursts out laughing.
Oh, to think I was so attracted to you!
He continues laughing.
Are you laughing because you think it's funny or because you're uncomfortable?
Can you imagine? When I first saw you, I thought, wow, she's like a shooting star. That's what I thought about you!
Morley puts her mask on the table.
Well, it's no use trying to be someone new to you. You've already made up your mind about me.
Levi's laugh turns to a giggle.
Are you done insulting me?
Levi coughs.
I wasn't insulting you. Is that what you think?
You were laughing.
Lighten up. You take everything so seriously. But it was funny, wasn't it? The situation, at least?
Sure. Haha. Funny.
Levi clears his throat, hiding a small smile with his fist.
So, might as well catch up. Tell me about things.
What? But shouldn't you be in there, finding other eligible young ladies to fraternize with?
There will be plenty of time for that. Grammy's got me on this 10 Steps to Marriage program.
Morley smiles.
Your turn.
Morley brushes the hair out of her face.
Okay, I'm opening a medical clinic in town. Just a small...
Her dialogue trails off as we angle up from where they are sitting into the night sky. Fade into Interior dance hall night, later. Levi and Morley are standing by the food table, still talking and chatting. Frederick Risley and Mary Risley approach.
If it is an old Captain Levi.
How can everyone recognize me so easily?
It must be your modest personality.
You could at least pretend that you're charmed by me.
Oh, wow. So charming. Who could it be?
Levi glares at her as he faces his new guests.
I see you two still get along as famously as ever.
Levi's eyebrows scrunch in confusion. Fred and Mary lift their masks.
Fred and Mary.
Levi brings them into a hug.
How are you?
Lost as if ever a traveler could be.
Levi releases his hug. Morley takes a step closer.
Mary.
Morley!
Fade to white. Exterior war camp day. Flashback. Mary hugs everyone on the battlefield. Mary and Morley are both wearing nurse uniforms. The men, Frederick, George, and a few others, and Levi, all wear a variety of different military uniforms.
Goodbye, everyone!
Frederick lifts Mary onto the horse.
You good?
Mary nods.
Ooh, look who's got a lover.
Frederick's face blushes bright red. Levi doubles over as Morley elbows him in the gut. Mary turns back.
Make sure to write me, Morley. Don't forget.
Fade to white. Interior, Great Hall, evening.
I told you to write.
I saw you at the wedding.
That's not the same.
I thought about writing.
Fade to white. Interior, Morley's room, evening flashback. Morley sits at a desk leaning over a piece of paper, a quill in hand.
Meh.
Morley crumples up the paper and throws it as she gets up and walks away. Fade to white. Interior, dance hall, night, later. Morley shrugs.
You must do better at it. Promise me.
Morley shrugs. While flashing her teeth in an intimidating way, Mary brings her face closer to Morley.
Promise me.
Morley shrugs. Enter Grandma Franny. Lottie stands next to her, looking both kind and /or condescending. It's hard to tell which is more accurate.
Levi, dear, introduce me to your friends.
This is Frederick Risley and his wife Mary. We fought together in the war.
The lady, Levi. Tell me who she is.
Franny gestures to Morley.
This is Morley Vogel.
With grace and charm and a perfectly placed spotlight, Morley bows.
Hello, madam.
Franny blushes from pure happiness, hands clasped in naive joy, while Lottie picks at something in her teeth.
She's perfect.
Franny's face turns serious.
And is the young lady single?
Oh, please, Grammy, really?
Oh, I want to know.
No developments.
None.
Not since my last letter.
How fortuitous. My grandson is also single. Painfully single.
Is that right?
Painfully right.
That makes you the last one, then. You'll have to pay up.
What? No, but George swore off all women.
George got engaged last week. That makes you the last single man of our unit. Which means, our bet, you lost.
Frederick puts his hand out while Levi reaches in his pocket and pulls out a coin. Morley watches, smirking, as Levi puts the coin in Frederick's hand. Morley takes a sip of her drink.
Why don't you two just get married?
Morley spit takes as Levi almost falls over.
What a splendid thought!
A shocked Morley and hopeful-looking Levi share a glance. Morley's face turns down with a slight, disgusted sneer.
We are entirely incompatible.
Levi slowly frowns, then nods methodically.
I agree completely. Us two, that's a terrible combination. Terrible, just awfully. Ucky, uck.
Yeah. Ucky uck.
If you say so.
Horror, devastation, end of the world paints Franny's expression. Lottie puts her hand on Franny's shoulder and leads her away. Close in on Lottie, shaking her head sadly.
Oh, you can't. You can't control the feelings of the young. Oh.
Shut it, you.
Morley turns to her friends.
We should host a unit reunion during the festival.
Yes. George and his fiancée are coming into town tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Then sometime after that.
Let us know when and we'll be there.
Me too.
I look forward to it. Then, if you'll excuse me, I must say goodnight.
Morley curtsies and begins to walk away. Levi's gaze lingers on her.
I could never marry anyone like that.
Mary raises an eyebrow.
Like what?
Someone so cold and heartless.
Heartless? You must not know her very well, then.
Levi glances at Mary. Knitted confusion crosses his face. Mary is smiling contentedly. Scene 3. Headstones. Exterior desert sunset. Flashback. 3 graves with stone markers. Captain Levi, in his uniform, sits in front of their headstones. With arms folded and feet in front of him, his elbows are resting on his knees, trying to hide his face, trying to fight the tears that come. He scrunches his face. He tries to hold his breath. As hard as he tries, he can't stop their flow. It is a desert sunset, and the red sky casts golden streams of light through the wisping clouds. Morley, in her medic uniform, walks up behind Levi and stands next to him. She doesn't acknowledge him, even though his incessant whimpering is loudly evident. She places flowers on the graves. Though few, the desert flowers are small and colorful. She waits there. Levi continues to cry. Morley closes her eyes solemnly. She's listening. Just listening.
Did you know them?
They were my brothers.
Levi takes in a sharp breath.
Why...
She looks at him for the first time.
What?
Why aren't you crying?
She turns away.
I can't.
Oh.
I lost the ability to cry a long time ago.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I probably look pathetic.
No,
She takes a breath.
I wish I could cry. Crying, it's a tribute to their memory. It's proof that you loved them.
Didn't you love them?
She scowls, focusing hard, forcing water to gather into her eyes. Nothing. They remain as dry as the desert around her.
More than anyone.
He wipes snot from his tear-stained face.
They were the bravest men I'd ever met. They were the best of us.
Face expressionless, Morley nods. A long, silent moment passes.
Thank you for caring about them.
Without another word, she leaves. Scene 4. Girl Talk. Interior carriage, night. Morley opens her eyes. The carriage stops. She steps out.
Interior inn, night.
Morley, in her fancy dress, walks in the door and puts her bag down. She takes a glance over the bulletin board in the entrance hallway. A barn raising, someone selling a buggy, an elbow and collar wrestling match, an escaped convict, and a few other notices pertaining to the festival in town. Judith, 21, country girl.
Morley, darling, you look beautiful. How was the party?
Fine. How's your family?
Fine. That's all you had to say?
I'm tired.
We'll catch up later then. Let's get you settled into a room.
Morley stops and holds Judith's shoulder.
It's good to see you.
Judith hugs Morley.
I'm so glad you made it.
Pan over transition 2. Interior, patio, bright, sunny morning. Judith and Morley are sitting comfortably on the patio, drinking apple juice. A robin chirps in a nearby tree.
He couldn't make a choice. Did he want me? Did he not? I was waiting and waiting and waiting for him. Never could decide. So, I said goodbye. I'm not waiting no more. Not forever for him to decide.
The robin flies down and pecks at sticks on the ground.
It's probably for the best. If he's not willing to make you a priority, he's not worth it.
I'm better now that it's over.
Indecision is painful. I'm of the opinion that one must decide, act, and then deal with the consequences. There's no point in waiting. Once you decide, that's it. When you know, you know.
The robin picks a stick and flies into the tree, building a nest.
I admired that about you, Morley. A real straight shooter.
The bird pecks at its nest in the tree.
Time is too valuable to waste. That's what I think.
How come you're not married yet? You've surely had suitors.
Wastes of time.
Another bird comes over and the robin chases him off.
Ah, you're against marriage.
No, that's not it. When I know, I know. And I won't waste my time with people that aren't what I want.
So that's it, is it? You're better at waiting than I am.
What time is it?
Just past noon.
Morley begins to stand.
Oh, I've got to start sending out the invites then. I'm planning a simple reunion for my old unit. Anyone that's in town.
Sounds fun.
I'll be back later tonight.
If I can do anything to help, let me know.
I will. Thank you.
Morley leaves. Scene 5. Reunion. Exterior park, day. A sign hangs on a pillar, reads, Reunion of the Golden Birds Unit, 5061. A set of older couples are chatting, a few young people are playing frisbee, most are sitting, eating at tables spread across the grass. The food is set up potluck style. George, Lena, and Bella approach the table where sit Levi, Frederick, Mary, and Morley. Levi gets up and clasps hands with George, pulling him into a man-hug.
If it isn't the traitor.
I'm not...
I thought you swore off all women.
George blushes.
Oh, well, that was...
Lena giggles.
Stop harassing him, Levi, and let the man join us.
George and his group sit at the table.
Introduce us, George.
Yep, okay. Everyone, this is Lena and her friend Bella.
Bella smiles sweetly and batters her eyelashes at Levi. Levi sits up a little straighter as Morley watches with a side glance.
Lena and Bella, this is Frederick, Mary, Levi, and Morley.
Oh, thank you so much for letting me intrude. I wasn't sure if I should even be here because it was a war reunion and all.
Any friend of George's is a friend of ours. Welcome.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Bella glances towards Levi. Levi winks at her. Bella blushes. Morley taps Levi's shoulder.
Hey, we have a pretty small program. You know, Ted's playing the guitar, a couple of boys managed to get together a quartet, but I was wondering if you would be willing to say a few words. I know that it's really last minute.
Put me on the list. I'll need a grand introduction and streamers. I'm thinking fanfare, trumpets, and fireworks.
Morley rolls her eyes.
Not happening. Keep it short.
30 minutes.
5.
15?
10.
Can I bribe you with a wink and a hug?
Levi opens his arms.
No.
Without looking at him, Morley walks away.
She's no fun.
So, Captain Levi, tell me more about yourself.
Exterior Park Pavilion later. Establishing shot of the stage area. A quartet finishes their last song. The audience claps. As the quartet leaves the stage, Morley walks on it.
Thank you. Hank, thank you. I know my brothers would have loved that. Well, I'm going to turn the time over to our very own Captain Levi to say a couple of words, so... Captain?
Levi slides on stage and all but pushes Morley off. Morley stands next to Bella and the others with grouchy arms folded.
Men, attention!
The men all stand up at attention.
At ease. You bunch of pushovers, I'm no captain now.
The group laugh. Levi looks out at the crowd with a big smile. Looking at all the faces, his face falls.
I thought I'd have more to say. Each of you're the men I fought beside, their families.
His face keeps scanning over the men with their wives, their children. Levi smiles sadly.
I love you. But as I look at you, there's some of us missing, some of us that didn't come back.
Levi locks eyes with Morley.
Some family that never returned. Perhaps someday we may very well meet them again. Not here, but there, wherever they are. But for now, we remember them. And when we do that, it's almost like they're here. I wasn't planning on this, but I'd like a moment of silence for our fallen family.
Levi bows his head. The tears fall down Mary and Frederick's faces. George hugs Lena tighter. Many of the men and women bow their heads. With closed eyes, Levi turns his face to the sky as a tear rolls down his cheek. He wipes his face with his arm.
Thank you.
Levi backs up and leaves the stage. The stage is empty for a second before Morley walks on.
Thank you, Captain. Can we get a big round of applause for our Captain Levi?
Morley starts clapping, and all the crowd join in with huge howls and yelps of joy.
And thank you all for coming to the reunion of the Golden Birds, Unit 5061. That concludes our program.
Morley joins the group.
Levi, thank you. Your words were beautiful. They meant a lot.
Yeah.
He's a real poet.
When it comes from the heart, it just comes.
Hugo, 54, an older gray-haired gentleman with an amputated peg leg, approaches Levi and shakes his head.
Had to come say goodbye before I headed out.
Leaving already?
About to.
Hugo, how are you?
How's he look? He's a sea-faring man now. Got a peg leg. Don't tell. But he's a pirate now.
Still the same, I see.
He'll never change.
Not with such traveling urges as I have.
What of settling down, looking for a wife? Soon you'll be as old as me. You'll want to have sown some oats by then.
Sown oats?
Can someone explain to me why this man is still a bachelor?
Maybe he's too picky.
Says you.
No, that's fair. Maybe she's right. Maybe you are picky.
No, I'm not. Morley is the picky one. Sure, I've got a few preferences, but they're light, really.
Then what do you look for in a wife?
What I...
Go on.
well, I couldn't really say, but when I picture myself with someone, she's bright and bubbly. That feeling of happy giddiness. Like you're being tickled, but not. She's like that.
What does that mean?
She's not too smart. Doesn't talk back.
Good luck.
Emotional. She'd be an emotional creature. The tenderest of hearts. And I'd be the one to soothe her aching spirits.
Levi sighs as everyone stares at him with wide eyes, except Bella. She has her hands clasped to her heart and eyes full of wistful, longing love. Morley moves her eyes from Levi to Bella, and back to Levi.
So the opposite of me?
Yes, the opposite of Morley. She'd be everything you're not and nothing you are. That sounds just right.
Bella batters her eyelashes.
She sounds lovely.
Smoldering, Levi moves closer to Bella.
I expect she is.
Morley rubs her temples.
Sorry to interrupt, but we must get going. My aunt is expecting us to get home soon, and she's awfully fussy.
I've already stayed in my welcome.
If some of you would be willing to stay and help put away the tables, that would be a huge help. I might even bribe you with some leftovers.
Consider me bribed. Come, Fred, there's manly work to be done.
Levi grabs Fred and drags him towards the tables. Bella giggles.
He's so charming.
Morley rolls her eyes.
He's frivolous.
Morley glances at Bella in her frilly sleeves and perfectly done-up hair.
But I suppose you wouldn't mind that.
Scene 6. Sewing party. Interior hallway day. Judith opens the door and lets Morley inside.
Morley! Glad you could make it. We're in the back room. You can put your bonnet there.
Judith walks down the hall as Morley places her bonnet on the hat rack overflowing with 10 other bonnets. Interior sitting room day. Morley rounds the corner and stops at the doorway. A majority of young women, Kitty, Eleanor, and Bella included, sit around the room on sofas, chairs, and at tables with knitting needles and cross-stitching hoops. At the center of the room sits Franny.
You should have seen his little face, all covered in mud. He was such a troublemaker when he was little.
The girls, Bella included, laugh heartily. Inconspicuously, Morley makes her way to an empty seat in the corner next to Judith. Judith pulls out a cross-stitch.
I started one for you.
Thanks.
Morley, I didn't welcome you when you came in. How rude of me. But we were in the middle of telling stories about Levi when he was younger.
No, I understand.
Don't stop now. I need more.
Franny laughs.
We do love to hear about him.
Well, I suppose.
Morley turns to whisper to Judith.
Has this been the entirety of the conversation?
Unfortunately, yes.
He's grown into such a fine young man now. Youngest captain I know. But the greatest tragedy really is how he's no one to spend his life with. He was never made to be a bachelor, and he would make the most perfect of husbands. Attentive, caring, sensual.
Ow! Morley pricks her fingers on the needle in her cross-stitch.
Stop it. Tell us more.
If only he'd get married. I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it.
You know, he told me all about his ideal woman.
Describe her to us.
What he's looking for is someone bubbly and sweet.
That describes me. How do you know that?
I was there when he said so. Isn't that right, Marley?
Morley.
Marley was there too.
Morley.
He looked right at me when he said it.
You're so lucky.
It's almost like destiny. Marley, wasn't it just so?
It's Morley.
Don't you think so?
Pricking herself again, Morley stands up and throws down her needlework.
What he wants is someone frivolous and loud and obnoxious. Someone exactly like himself. So don't ask me if I know whether or not you could be that person. Because, quite frankly, you know already if you fit that description.
Morley storms out of the room.
Oh, really?
What's her problem?
She doesn't get along with Levi. They're enemies, I think.
If I had known she'd act like that, I wouldn't have invited her.
No, I think it was good. Next time, I hope I can become her friend.
You could start by getting her name right.
Scene 7. Trip into town. Exterior road day. Morley walks along the road carrying a briefcase. From down the road, heading the same way she's going, a horse-drawn buggy clomps towards her. She glances back real quick, then frowns.
Oh, great.
In the carriage, loud chatting and laughing can be heard as Levi, Bella, Eleanor, and Kitty ride along.
The poor fellow spent all night waiting for me under the tree. He really couldn't take a hint. He was so embarrassing to me.
A real tragic fool.
Levi would never act like that.
You wouldn't, would you?
Should it win your affections, who's to say?
Bella playfully hits Levi.
No, don't say that. That's so naughty of you.
I am dastardly, aren't I?
We love it. Don't stop. Never stop.
Levi glances at the person walking on the side of the road. His eyes widen as he recognizes her.
Is that? Why, it is. What a good traveler we found on the road.
Who?
Morley. Miss Morley. I did say that right, didn't I?
Morley groans and turns around.
Slow the coach. Slow down.
Levi leans over the side as the buggy pulls up next to Morley.
Heading into town?
Hello, Levi. Hello, ladies.
You must join us.
No, that's quite all right.
Oh, no, don't say that. You're heading into town too, aren't you?
Well, yes.
Then you simply must join us. We have plenty of room.
Too proud for a warm exchange with your fiercest enemy?
Morley puts her hands on her hips, a smile playing on her lips.
And that would be...
There is no one more suited to the task than I.
Smiling, Morley rolls her eyes.
However, I understand if you feel you must retreat from my overwhelming presence. It'll be my victory.
Very well. Move over.
And the battle begins.
Oh, how fun.
Morley hands Levi her suitcase as she climbs into the buggy.
I think you're one of the prettiest women I've ever seen.
Morley gasps, but her breath gets caught in her throat and she starts coughing.
I thought the same thing.
Really? That's too much.
Not to brag, but Morley was a nurse during the war.
How brave.
Did you ever see combat?
No, I stayed in the medical tents, tending to the wounded.
Those brave soldiers.
Yes.
Tell us a war story, Levi. I'd like to know all about your heroics.
There's not much heroic about war.
Tell us anyway.
Levi drops his frolicky facade and turns serious.
No, those stories aren't for light ears.
Levi resumes his cheerful, frolicky disposition as Morley watches him with careful respect.
But I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you about the time I got my fingers stuck in the mouth of a fish.
Stop. No. How delightful.
Exterior town day. Laughing, the woman and Levi climb down from the buggy.
I must say that was much more fun than I had initially anticipated.
We are going shopping now. I think you should join us.
I, for one, would be delighted.
I'd love your opinion on fabrics.
She's busy. I'm sure she has her own errands to run.
Well, I have some time before I need to finish my errands, so perhaps I could accompany you all for a little.
Yes, you must.
For a short time.
Bella grabs Morley by the arm and escorts her away.
Of course.
Eleanor holds her hand out to Levi.
If only there was a man who could be my escort.
Levi takes her arm.
Lack no more, for I shall ease your burden.
Kitty grabs onto his other arm.
And mine.
I seem to be situated quite advantageously.
Stop it, you tease.
Interior mercantile store day. Eleanor and Bella are looking at jewelry, while Kitty is eyeing sweets. Morley has her eyes on a pair of sturdy work gloves. Levi is looking over the guns and wondering.
This bracelet! I'm just in love with it. Isn't it just made for me?
Oh, yes. And these pieces are lovely, Levi, don't you think?
Eleanor holds up some gold earrings with a green jewel inlay as Levi puts down a pair of gloves he was trying on and moves towards her.
They are nice.
They match her eyes, don't they?
Eleanor has hazel eyes. The earrings have a greenish jewel in them.
Ah, like the sunset matches the sunrise.
Good save.
Levi, buy it for her.
Should I?
And these you'll get from me.
Is Levi buying gifts? I'll pick out something too.
Why not?
Kitty, Eleanor, and Bella gather like hens around the jewelry while Levi stands next to Morley.
Would you like anything?
Oh, no. But are you sure this is all right?
Yes, I'm happy to.
Well, what about the money?
I'm not a poor veteran. I've been working with my uncle on the Western Railways. I make a good earning from it.
Good for you.
Go take a look, will you? If you like something, I'll get it, and don't think it's a burden to me. I want to.
Morley twiddles her thumbs. She sighs.
All right.
Morley moves to the other women and glances at the jewelry as they excitedly pick through the items.
Look at the diamond on this ring.
Diamond?
Eleanor gives the ring to Morley, who examines it.
No, this isn't a diamond. This is glass. See, there, that's a glass bubble. You wouldn't want this.
What a pity.
Morley hands the ring to Kitty, who seems utterly disappointed.
It looks just like a diamond.
That is why they use it.
Such a shame. I really like it.
It shines just as pretty, so really, I don't think it matters.
I mean, sure, but...
Eleanor pulls out a necklace.
Now this has to be real diamonds.
Morley examines it. She frowns at the expectant faces of the ladies.
Don't tell us.
Well, that doesn't really matter. If it looks good, it looks good.
Eleanor picks up the earrings.
I think I'll get these.
Slowly, Morley backs up from the group. She passes by Levi.
I think I'll wait outside.
Nothing catch your eye?
Morley walks outside without answering Levi, and he shrugs. Exterior mercantile day. Morley waits by the outside of the building. Billy, an older, creepy man, drunk, walks up to her.
Pretty lady. Pretty lady.
He leans in close to Morley's face as she simultaneously leans back.
Pretty lady?
Sir, please back away. I would like some personal space.
Nah, not for the pretty lady. Pretty lady.
Morley adjusts her feet and looks at the door, and she scowls at the man as he breathes in her face.
Do you need something?
Staring at the pretty lady.
Stumbling, Billy is pushed as Levi shoves him away.
Sober up before trying to talk to a lady.
Morley relaxes and smiles with relief.
Levi.
You should have stayed inside with the rest of us.
Oh, what a hero Levi is!
Eleanor has followed Kitty in exiting the shop.
He was so scary. You don't think he was that escaped convict, do you?
What?
From the wanted poster. What if that was him? Oh, I couldn't stand it. How scary.
That definitely wasn't him, really. Sometimes he can be so dramatic, but it's so entertaining.
Bella exits the shop last.
What happened?
Well,
I saw the whole thing. This weirdo. He's a criminal, I'm sure. He approached Miss Morley. He had flies buzzing all around him, too. Weirdo. But before he could even touch Miss Morley, Levi flew in and scared him off, shoved him to the ground, and threatened him.
It wasn't like that.
Aren't we lucky to have Levi with us, then, to keep away those pesky flies?
If only more men could be like Levi.
Levi blushes and rubs the back of his neck.
I was only doing what's natural.
Morley tugs at his sleeve. Levi holds up his hands in defense.
Now, before you jump on me, listen, I know you can handle yourself and that you didn't need my help. You're strong and independent and...
Levi, no, that's not what I... Thank you.
A blush spreads across his face and his expression turns to one of scared, blissful shock.
Look what Levi got us! Such a gentleman.
I got the ring.
Eleanor shows off the earrings in her ears.
They're beautiful.
I'm hungry.
Then yes, we must visit the bakery next.
Yes, let's.
Levi reaches in his pocket.
Oh, I got this for you.
Levi places a blue ribbon in Morley's hand.
Why a ribbon?
During the war, I noticed you always had your hair tied back. I thought it looked good on you, so... Do you like it?
Yes, it's very thoughtful.
Are you two coming?
I should head to the clinic now.
I want to go see.
But I'm hungry.
We can go eat after we visit Morley's new clinic. We just have to see it.
You can come by any time.
No, we must go with you now. But it will only take a moment.
All right.
Interior, Morley's clinic, day. The shelves are mostly empty and the tables are covered with dust. Morley shakes out an apron resting on a coat stand and puts it on.
It's still a work in progress.
Eleanor covers her mouth as she swats away some dust particles.
I can see that.
Like starting a journey.
Levi, you're so profound.
Morley rolls her eyes.
So there's not much to see now, but soon that'll be changing. I still have to meet with the contractor. Obviously, there's a lot to do before we open this location.
I look up to you, Morley. Starting a business? Being beautiful?
Thanks.
This isn't Morley's first clinic. She's got a few in different towns.
Wow.
I'd love to come back later, but can we please go get some food now?
There's not much to see here.
Not now, but we are opening in a week.
Thanks for letting us come.
Morley nods as the women head for the door.
I'll come again soon.
They leave as Morley waves them goodbye. Then she opens a closet and pulls out a broom. She takes a moment to look at the ribbon in her hand before tying her hair back and grabbing the broom. Interior, Morley's clinic, transition. Morley wipes down the window. The light in the window transitions into night, then into a new day. A kid runs by the window. We follow the kid and transition to... Scene 8. Elbow and collar wrestling match. Exterior park day. Morley enters the park carrying a large bag. She scans past adults talking, men and women setting out food and picnic blankets. Levi is standing with the group of girls. Morley's lips curled down by the slightest, unnoticeable fraction. Frank McGovers, 40, large bushy mustache, bumps into Morley.
Oh, sorry, miss.
He holds in his arms a little girl, Isabella, 4, and a beautiful woman stands next to him, Adelaide, 35, carrying a baby in a bundle of blue. Frank's eyes widen and a smile comes to his face.
Miss Morley? Why, what are you doing here?
Frank turns to Adelaide, who is clearly his wife.
Adelaide, this is Miss Morley. She was a nurse during the war.
Hello.
She sewed up my leg. The reason Daddy's not an amputee.
Amputee? I wish I could have done more. You still have that limp.
Ah, what's a limp to a leg, huh?
We're just glad it came back at all.
A man in the distance, who has staked down a wrestling ring, made of wooden stakes and rope, calls over to Frank.
Franklin, we're about ready to start.
Frank waves at the man, then turns back to Morley.
Ah, just in time for the wrestling match, are you?
Yes.
Morley pats her bag.
And I brought supplies just in case.
Well, that's great. It'll be good to have a doctor here. But with any luck, you'll have to stay sidelined.
I'm plenty contented with that.
Franklin!
I'm coming!
Frank puts the little girl down.
You stay with Mother.
Frank waves and walks away. Morley looks down. The little girl is staring at Morley and holding her hand towards her.
Yes?
And Morley gives the little girl her hand, and the little girl leads Morley towards the wrestling match. Adelaide smiles at Morley, who smiles back. Exterior park wrestling ring day. Onlookers crowd the ring, mostly adults, a few family groups, a small gaggle of youths awaiting in anticipation, Bella's group giggling on the other side, strapping young men trying to inconspicuously pose for the ladies. Morley stands by the ring, holding Isabella's hand. Frank stands on top of a soapbox.
I'll be the ref for today's matches. We've got a good lineup, and I expect it to be an entertaining competition. And for the winner, we've got this here bundle of $50.
Holds up the money.
And a kiss from our lovely Miss Bella.
Frank gestures to Bella as the crowd whoops. Bella blushes, but waves.
Now, we want a clean elbow and collar wrestling match, so listen up. Rules are as follows. Men must maintain an upright stance. None of that hunched over stuff. You've got to pin your man for 3 seconds on the ground. That means shoulders down. 1, 2, 3 seconds. Should you release the grip on either collar or elbow, that's a penalty. 3 penalties, you're disqualified.
A bee flies in front of Morley and then down in front of Isabella. Isabella swats the air as intensely as only a 4-year-old can.
If you leave it alone, it won't sting you.
The bee finally flies off. Someone gives Frank a piece of paper.
First up, we got Mickey Clutterbuck versus our very own Captain Levi. Sorry, Captain, no favoritism here today. Who doesn't want to see Cap getting a little roughed up?
The crowd hollers with laughter and jeering agreement.
Then today's not your lucky day. I've got a favor to win from a lovely lady.
The crowd boos as Levi winks at Bella. She blushes and falls back into giggling with her friends.
Well, so it must be. All right, grab your man.
Levi puts his right arm on Mickey's collar, knuckles resting on the collarbone. His left arm grasps at Mickey's sleeve. Mickey mirrors him. They stand upright in a natural stance.
And I'll count down now, and when I say begin, that's when, you get it.
The men nod. 3,
2, 1, begin!
Mickey and Levi's muscles engage. They both stand there for a moment. Then they start stepping, causing them to spin, slowly. From too far of a distance, Mickey tries to back heel trip Levi. That's when Levi takes a step forward and rushes in. Using his body weight to push Mickey back, Levi throws Mickey off balance. Mickey falls over Levi's leg and lands on the ground with the breath knocked out of him. While landing, Mickey's hand lets go of Levi to help break his fall. Once fallen, Mickey brought his hand back to Levi's elbow.
He just let go. That's a penalty.
Ah, that's allowed. He was breaking a fall.
Mickey struggles, rocking back and forth so his shoulders don't touch the ground. Finally, Levi readjusts for a moment and slams Mickey back onto the ground, pinning his back and shoulders down.
1, 2, 3.
Levi lets Mickey go.
Oh, and the win goes to Levi.
Mostly cheers as Levi raises his fists in the air. After helping Mickey up, Levi turns to acknowledging the booing men, mostly Fred and George and a few others.
You're lucky I can no longer court-martial any of you.
The crowd and the rowdy men laugh. The bee is back, and Isabella starts swatting at it again.
And the next match is...
A stinger protrudes from Isabella's hand.
What did I say?
Adelaide awkwardly reaches for Isabella, but the blue bundle in her arms wiggles uncomfortably.
Here, let me help.
Morley takes the blue bundle from Adelaide's arms. Adelaide picks up Isabella, and the two women walk over to a log. They set Isabella down and pull out the stinger. Isabella is still crying.
You're okay now.
The baby in Morley's arms starts crying. She grunts in frustration.
It's okay. I'll see to her.
Adelaide takes the baby from Morley and starts to rock him.
Thank you.
Morley sits next to Isabella. Isabella is holding her stung hand out in front of her, while the other one is wiping away her tears. Morley gently takes the outstretched hand and faces it palm up. Then, using her index finger, she bops the tips of each one of Isabella's finger. Then she bops her elbow, then her two cheeks, then her nose. Isabella giggles. Morley bops Isabella's fingers, elbows, cheeks, and nose again. Isabella giggles. Isabella reaches for Morley's face. Morley brings it close when Isabella bops her on the nose. Morley scrunches up her nose as Isabella laughs. Morley smiles, then she looks up and catches eyes with Levi, who had been watching the whole exchange. He smiles. Morley's face turns red as she immediately looks away.
Let's find Mother.
Exterior park, day. Adelaide, her kids, and Morley sit together on a blanket.
Looks like the next round is starting. You should go watch.
It doesn't matter.
Oh? I suppose not, but it can be fun to watch. Frank used to be a great wrestling champion.
Really?
Best in the county. But that was before the war.
Oh.
It wouldn't hurt him to go at it again, but he only wants to ref. That's what he says, all right. Imagine not being able to do what you love. It would break your spirit. Maybe it was the winning he loved more than the sport.
We don't know what he's thinking.
True, and the men who signed up aren't your normal backwater kids. They're soldiers. Know what they're doing. Tough men. Still, I hope none of them get hurt.
Yes. Maybe it wouldn't be bad for me to be near the ring, in case anything happens.
Of course. Lovely chatting with you.
Same to you.
Exterior park, wrestling ring, day.
Let's start up the next round, all right? First up, we got Oliver Blee and, our crowd's least favorite, Captain Levi.
Boos and cheers and laughs. Morley covers her smirk with her hand.
You're our favorite, Levi.
But really, you must win.
Good luck.
No favoritism.
Seems we have a divided crowd. We'll have to see if this match can change the mixed tide. Men, take your marks.
Levi and Oliver grab each other.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Oliver begins by trying to jerk Levi around here and there. Oliver twists in a weird way, and Levi grits his teeth as a strain pulls at his wrist. Quickly, Levi readjusts his grip, twisting Oliver's loose jacket. After a few more jerks around, Levi does the crook move. He pulls Oliver forward, coils his leg around Oliver's leg, and they both hop in a tabletop position till Levi's left hand pulls at Oliver's sleeve, overpowering him and throwing him on the ground. As Oliver falls, Levi's twisted grip on the collar twists further, and Levi's face contorts in wincing pain. Levi holds Oliver down, but his hand is still twisted, weird unnaturally.
1, 2, 3.
The crowd cheers.
Yeah, Levi! We're booing him?
Oh, right.
Boo! Get out of the ring, you codfish!
Levi lets go of Oliver and backs up smiling, but his hand is holding his injured wrist.
And the wind goes to Levi.
He's so strong, really. It's too much, but I love to see it. I just can't look away.
I know exactly how you feel. Don't you, Bella?
Don't you wish he would win?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, you're terrible, and we love it. Just love it!
Levi approaches.
How'd I do, ladies?
You had us worried for a moment, but no, I'm only kidding. It was so exciting. You're so strong.
Well, of course, I'm fighting for a good cause.
Levi winks at Bella, who blushes. In the distance, Henry clenches his fist.
The next up is Henry DeFure versus Archie Mifflin. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Morley pushes her way through the crowd and joins the group.
Are you okay? How's your wrist?
Levi covers his wrist.
Are you hurt?
Nah, it's nothing.
Morley holds out her hand.
Let me see.
It's nothing. Nothing, really. Don't you believe me?
Morley's blank face clearly expresses that she does not. Hesitantly, Levi puts his wrist in Morley's hand. She applies pressure, and Levi jerks it away immediately while wincing. He tries to laugh it off.
Nothing.
He holds his wrist up and moves it slowly with only very small movements.
See? Nothing.
He's smiling, but his eye keeps twitching. Morley puts her hands on her hips.
You really think that's going to be enough?
She gestures to the wrestling ring. Heads turn to the ring as an impressive Henry falls to his knees, flipping Archie over his shoulder, pinning him on his back.
1, 2, 3. And the winner is Henry DeFure.
The girls and Levi look horrified. Morley wears her neutral expression. She glances over at Levi with an eyebrow slightly raised in an "I told you so" way. Henry helps Archie up, and they pat shoulders in good sportsmanship fashion.
What a win! Now, that means for our final round, and the winner of the $50 and a kiss from lovely Lady Bella, it'll be a showdown between Captain Levi and Henry DeFure.
Henry turns and death glares at Levi.
We'll start it up right after I get a drink of water. Move over for a sec. I gotta come down.
Frank steps off the soapbox.
I hope you're not intending to go out into that ring again.
What?
He's clearly hurt.
No, it mustn't be so.
That's just too tragic.
But what about...
Don't worry, it's not bad. Nothing can stop me from winning.
But I don't want you hurting yourself on my account.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Morley rolls her eyes.
He's such a hero.
He's such an idiot.
And we're back. Now, men, go ahead and step into the ring.
Levi passes over the rope, indicating the ring.
Levi?
I'll be fine.
I'm getting my medicine bag.
You have no faith in me.
I have less faith in your good judgment.
Levi shakes his head and turns away as Henry enters the ring with a hard stare.
All right. Want a good, clean fight. You both know the rules. Take your positions.
They grab sleeves and collars, get into the natural posture with knees slightly bent, right foot slightly forward.
I'm winning that kiss.
Don't count on it.
Bella looks on, her eyes wide and innocent. Morley stands nearby, holding her bag.
And 3. And 2. And 1. And begin!
Henry tries to yank Levi around, but Levi easily dances around him until Henry tries to rush, backing away. The movement forces grip pressure on Levi's wrist. Levi lets go of Henry's collar.
Penalty on Levi!
But that's not fair. He's hurt.
Just because he's hurt doesn't mean he deserves to win.
This is awful. Just awful to watch.
He chose this.
Henry brushes himself off and smirks at Levi.
Can't keep a hold, can you?
Gritting, Levi massages his wrist.
It won't happen again.
Well, let's try this again. Now take your positions. 3, 2, 1, begin!
Levi and Henry move back and forth for a bit. Sweat is staining Levi's forehead, and his teeth are clenched so tight the veins on his neck have popped out.
Tired already?
Hardly.
As Levi begins to throw Henry, breaking his alignment, his eyes go to his hurt wrist. The wrist slackens just a bit. There's not enough pressure to bring him down, and Henry recovers his balance just in time to enact a sticking trip. Henry lifts Levi's leg from behind and pushes Levi down to the ground. Levi's wrist is shaking. A ringing sound slightly blurs his vision as Levi's eyes focus intently on his shaking wrist.
1, 2, 3. That's it, folks!
The crowd gasps. Henry relaxes, but Levi doesn't.
Let go. It's over.
What?
Levi lets go.
And the winner is Henry de Fuhrer.
No!
Morley moves to where Fred and Gang are standing since it's closer to Levi.
Huh. I really didn't think he would lose.
He's hurt.
Oh.
Brows furrowed in anger, Levi stands. He looks down and brushes himself off with one hand. Henry holds out his right hand for Levi to shake.
That was a good match.
Levi stares at the hand. He uses his left hand and grabs the back of Henry's hand in the most awkward of handshakes.
One of the best.
Come on over here, Henry, and claim your prize.
Smiling happily, Henry prances over to the soapbox. Frank gives him the $50 and Bella quickly kisses him on the cheek. He's beaming like a little boy in a candy store. While cradling his wrist, Levi approaches Morley. He bows his head a little.
So, let's just say you were right to try and stop me. I'm sorry. And I think I may be in need of your services.
Come on, then.
Exterior on a log bench at the park. Day. Morley's bag is open. She is examining Levi's wrist.
How bad is it, Doctor?
Well, it could be worse. It's not broken, so that's good news. I'll need to wrap it. And try not to overexert yourself again.
Levi is staring over at the ring. Henry is flirting with the group of girls, Bella included.
That kiss should have been for me.
Morley glances at him, then follows his gaze to the girls. She sighs.
It's not like it'll never happen. You know she's sweet on you.
But think of the story we could have told our kids.
You're going to marry her?
I might. It's not a bad idea.
I wouldn't call it a good one, either.
You're against marriage. Why am I not surprised?
I'm not against marriage.
Then what? You want me to remain a bachelor? You like me better as a free spirit?
No.
Morley's face goes red.
I wouldn't trust a girl who gives away kisses like currency.
I don't mind.
That's the problem.
I don't get you. What are you trying to say? You think we're a bad match?
No, you're perfectly suited to each other, like two peas in a pod.
Then what?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm jealous.
Levi's eyebrows shoot up.
You're getting all this attention and nobody ever seems to notice me. Everybody likes you and they just tolerate me.
She finishes wrapping his wrist.
There, you're done.
No, I'm far from done. If people can't appreciate you, it's not your fault. They're the wrong people to be around, that's that.
But
No, you're wrong. People don't tolerate you. Lots of people really like you. Bella really likes you, and Mary, you've got lots of friends.
That's not the kind of attention that Well, just look. Men like Henry de Fuhrer. If he hasn't even looked my way.
You don't want his attention. He's a cheater, his breath stinks, and he walks around with impure motives. See him talking over there with Bella and the girls? Impure motives.
And you're any better?
I am a gentleman.
Who participated for the same reasons that Henry did.
With completely different motives.
You were trying to win Bella's kiss.
I was saving her from having to kiss someone like Henry.
Please,
Isabella runs up to Levi and Morley.
Hello, little one. Can you believe this woman? She accuses my motives.
He wanted a kiss from Bella. Now he's heartbroken, making excuses because he couldn't get the kiss.
Isabella blinks, then reaches her hands towards Levi. Levi leans in as Isabella grabs his face and kisses him on the cheek. Levi is shocked.
Isabella, come on, dear, we're leaving.
Isabella waves and runs off to join her family.
What was...
Well, look at that. You got a kiss after all.
Levi smiles and they laugh.
Oh, Levi!
We are grabbing the sandwiches.
Now you really must join us, absolutely. Now, but you can take your time. However, you really must come immediately.
Coming! I'll see you later.
Morley nods.
Take care.
Levi runs off. Morley sighs. Scene 9. Levi in Morley's clinic. Interior, Morley's clinic, next day. A blue ribbon used to tie up dark hair flutters in the sun. Boxes are piled high on the table. Morley, in a new outfit, hair tied up by the ribbon, finishes mopping the floor. She wipes the sweat off her forehead, using her arm, and admires her job well done with a nod. Dink, dink, dink. A finger taps on the window. Morley looks through, then opens the window. Without warning, Levi sticks his leg through the window and barges into the clinic. He puts his dirty boot on the clean, wet floor.
Hey, good to see you again. My wrist is feeling much better, so you let me stay a while.
Hey, I just...
Crouching, Levi hides behind the window.
Thanks a bunch. You've done a great job. Oh, looks like you missed a spot. Oh, but maybe that was me.
Oh, Levi! Where did you go?
He's so tricky.
Kitty giggles. Morley looks out the window as Levi reaches up and closes the window.
I'm not here.
Dink, dink, dink. Morley opens the window.
Morley, where's Levi? Is he hiding in there?
Morley blocks Eleanor's view of the shop.
I'm busy. I can't play your games right now.
Oh, tut-tut. Can't we just come in to see a quick peek?
As I just finished mopping the entire floor, unless you want me to have to remop everything, I really can't have you come in right now.
That's no fun.
Well, neither is a dusty floor.
Morley glances down at Levi.
But one would need to be mature to know that.
Smirking, Levi shrugs.
What was that?
Morley stares at them with a blank face of emotion.
She won't tell us. Morley, I swear, you have such a nasty disposition sometimes. Just kidding!
Morley frowns. Bella appears around the corner.
Come, ladies. We just spotted him going into the tavern.
Bye, Miss Morley.
As the ladies hurry off, Morley shuts the window. She sighs, sadly.
You didn't deserve that.
Mop.
What?
Morley grabs the mop and holds it out for him to grab.
You stay, you work. Mop.
Ever the taskmaster.
Levi grabs the mop and takes off his boots. Morley moves to the table and starts unloading boxes, while Levi mops the floor.
So you're dying to know why I was hiding, right? This whole scenario started yesterday. I must have made quite the impression.
I didn't ask.
But doesn't that just make you more curious?
No.
Well, it makes me more curious. So yesterday...
If you have to tell me, at least make it entertaining.
Entertaining? How could you imply that I am not?
Morley narrowed her eyes and raised an unimpressed eyebrow.
I suppose it is too much to ask for you to understand a wandering socialite such as myself. Impossible.
Morley rolls her eyes.
More like undesirable.
You wound me, madam.
And you make my ears bleed. Shall we call it even?
Touché.
Morley opens a new box. Levi gestures to the floor.
How's that?
Morley peers over her stack of boxes and spies the clean floor.
Okay, that'll do.
Levi joins Morley at the table.
Is there work here I can help with?
You don't need to.
You stay, you work. You made that quite clear.
So I did. Alright then, yes. I need to shelve these boxes by product. Most of them will go on that shelf over there.
Levi picks up the box and takes it to the shelf.
Consider it done.
Morley watches Levi work for a moment before looking down at her hands as a soft smile sneaks onto her lips. She opens a new box.
I'm sure they've left by now.
Surely.
So if you wanted to leave, you could.
That's surely so.
So why stick around?
Aha! The incumbent has found her curiosity.
Why'd I have to ask?
So yesterday, my Grammy, nice old lady as she is, invited the lot of ladies to dinner. Then to an early morning promenade around the park, then to a late luncheon, then to a stroll around town, because that was my idea. And naturally, I had to attend all the events that the ladies were invited to, and let me tell you, too much of a good thing is too much indeed.
Morley furrowed her eyebrows.
So you got bored of them?
Well, I wouldn't say bored.
Morley snickers.
No. Don't misunderstand. It wasn't bored. They're the most entertaining in the most unentertaining ways.
You got bored.
Not that. That wasn't it. I got...
What?
Like a fly before the swatter. No, like a small child that got sneezed on. No.
Just say it.
Levi threw his hands up and ran his fingers through his hair.
I'm sick of it. Giggly, annoying chatterboxes. You'd think there's more to talk about than fashion and womanly things. But no! Let's just talk about things I don't care about. Nope, sorry, don't care. And they're always grasping for me. Levi this, Levi that! Oh, Levi! Like chattering birds. Find your own nest, you chirpity chirps.
Morley laughs. Slowly, a small, bashful smile creases Levi's face.
Was that entertaining enough?
Terribly so.
But now it is your turn.
Morley gasps.
No.
Tell me a story.
Get back to work.
Only if you tell me a story.
Nah, that's not how this works.
How the tables have turned.
I'll just let them know you're here.
Morley moves towards the front door.
Nope.
Levi cuts her off and grabs her arms. They stand inches apart when Morley glances up at Levi's face. The way he's looking at her, tender, longing eyes. His gaze drifts to her lips. Morley softens. She snaps back and immediately distances herself.
Fine. Fine. But you have to work.
Deal.
Morley opens up another box and stares at the insides.
Okay. I can't think of anything. I can't just come up with a story.
First thing that comes to your mind. Say that.
First thing that What?
Morley's face softens as a thought strikes her.
Huh.
Ooh, you got a thought.
It's not a story. It's just something that happened.
Congrats, that's what a story is. Proceed.
Morley rolls her eyes.
Well, when I was little, my brothers, on my birthday, they'd bring me flowers. Not real flowers, paper flowers that they colored with pencils. They'd crush flower petals onto the paper to try and make their drawings smell like flowers. But it just made them gooey, like the paper all gooey and tearing and falling apart. And anyway, it's silly, but yeah.
Morley glances at Levi only to see him smiling and his eyes twinkling. He has that look again, tender eyes, longing. Then it changes as he brings his hand up to his chin as if in deep contemplation.
Good story. Could use a few more punch-ups to spice up on the entertainment factor. But overall, a good sitting.
Oh, my... So terribly unentertaining?
Unbearably so. But if you happen to have another story to tell, I could be imposed upon to suffer through another.
Wow. I could not have been more open with you, and you treat it like that?
Forgive me, that came out wrong. What I meant to say was, I'd love to hear another.
Morley smiles. Then she shakes her head and taps her finger on the table.
I think that's enough for today.
What? But you've still got a few boxes left. Think of how many stories you could tell.
Exactly. And I haven't eaten since this morning, so...
Shall we go get lunch?
You have an entourage to get back to.
Or not.
What do I have to do to get rid of you?
Levi's posture falls.
Do you really want to get rid of me?
It would be what's best.
Levi picks up his boots and walks towards the front door.
Levi?
Yes?
Morley pulls a small case from off one of the shelves and hands it to him. His eyes widen as he opens the case to reveal a pair of leather gloves.
What are these for?
Thank you for helping me out today.
No, you were the one who helped me out, remember? You couldn't have known I would be here, unless you're psychic, which, let's be honest, I wouldn't put it past you.
No. They're a thank you for the ribbon, too. And for being a good captain. And also for being a good friend to my brothers. Since I can't give it to them, I'll give it to you.
Levi hugs Morley. He's crying.
Are you?
Shh. If we don't talk about it, it's not happening.
A tear falls on Morley's face.
But a tear.
Shh. We're not talking about it.
Morley rolls her eyes.
All right.
Morley pats Levi's back. Levi finally breaks free and wipes his eyes.
Thank you.
It's my thank you gift to you.
Thank you.
Get out.
Levi puts on his boots and blows a kiss on the way out while Morley rolls her eyes. The door shuts. Morley is alone.
Levi, my boy, there you are. Didn't I say he'd turn up?
Where were you? It was so boring without you.
Morley slowly pulls the ribbon out of her hair.
You weren't running from us? How naughty that would be. I'm only kidding, of course. But where were you, really?
Morley's hair falls around her face.
I only go where any traveler seeks to face his future.
Morley stares at the ribbon in her hand.
mysterious. I said he'd turn up, and he has. Now, we must get going. We're behind schedule.
Exterior, the front of Morley's clinic, day. The women all scurry off while Levi delays. His glance lingers on Morley's front door.
Levi, are you coming?
Yes?
Are you still looking for your future? Did you find it, perhaps?
Half of Levi's face smiles, while his eyes droop sadly.
No. And I'm afraid I'm not the only one whose future is so elusive. The living can never be alive among the dead, and there are some travelers who are trapped there.
Interior, Morley's clinic, day. Morley clutches the ribbon tightly. She scrunches her face and narrows her eyes till they tremble in pain. She wipes an eye and frowns.
Dry.
Scene 10. The barn raising. Exterior, field, day. Men and women are gathered around. The men, sleeves rolled up, work together and raise a barn. Morley has her medicine bag and is standing nearby Mary and Judith. Mary is chatting away and is very exaggerated with her arms. Morley is watching the barn being raised. With pulleys and levers, the men pull the barn up.
Oh, how wonderful! So many came out. See, there's my grandson. What a good boy he is. A good leader, too, helping the Johnson family like this.
Oh, yes. I love a good barn raising, you know. My grandsons helped raise 3 barns last summer. Or was it 4? I just forgot. I can't remember.
Did they?
In the streaming sunlight, Levi wipes sparkling sweat from his glistening forehead. Watching, Kitty nearly faints into Eleanor's arms. Eleanor licks her lips, and Bella bats her eyes and smiles shyly. Morley also washes, with an expressionless face. She blinks.
Look who can't take her eyes away.
What?
Oh, you know me. I just couldn't help but notice how you gawk at Captain Levi.
Me? Gawking? No. I was watching the barn raising. I'm here to make sure nobody gets hurt.
We wouldn't want anyone to fall.
Exactly.
To fall in love.
Stop.
Judith gestures to Bella's band, where Levi is standing.
If you want to talk to him, just go on over.
I don't want to be another one of his chirping birds.
Judith folds her arms and nods.
As if you could ever. Stop being weird about it and just go over there.
I'll come with you.
No, I don't want to deal with their fluffy fantasy world. I'm not going.
Good, because it looks like they're coming over here.
Morley groans.
Good doctor, tell me you've a cure for a wandering soul. How does one cure the itch to be out among the adventurers?
So profound.
I cure physical ailments, not things you make up in your mind.
Ah, but the itch is very physical, is it not?
But Levi, why would you want to be cured of the itch at all? Isn't it more dashing to be so whimsical?
So it is.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
You see a problem with that, Miss Morley?
Well, it sounds pretty, but it doesn't carry any weight. You can say wandering traveler all you want, but it doesn't mean anything.
I disagree. Its vagueness is what ignites the intrigue. Travelers everywhere, yet nowhere. They could be anyone, yet no one at all. Each of us wander in our own way, and yet, do we ever leave what we already know? Never. We are what we are, no more, no less.
You know, I have never met anyone else who can use so many words and string them all together in such a flowery way and yet still say nothing at all.
You imply I lack meaning, substance.
I do. You wear these rose-colored glasses to see the world the way you want it to be seen, but that's not how it works.
Enlighten me.
Well, reality is not just a construct. Whether you accept it or not, there is substance that cannot simply be believed away.
That's true. Too many people nowadays don't have any concept of reality.
Levi puts his hand on his chin.
Perhaps the lady has trapped me on this one. What say you, sweet maidens?
I know that how I understand the world is just how it is.
That's well put. While there may be some merit to what Miss Morley says, I think what it comes down to is that she chooses to see the world that way. And I'm sorry to say that's very limiting.
That's your view.
I'm sorry. It is.
Morley shrugs.
Then I guess it can't be helped. I won't condemn you for that, but I don't agree.
What a pleasant debater you are, Miss Morley. We must find something else to disagree with. The civility is just too much fun.
Judith turns to Morley and raises an eyebrow.
Morley, Mary and I are leaving. We have some errands to run into town. Would you like to come with us?
Actually, I think I'll stay. Who knows what other nuggets of wisdom I'll have the opportunity to be present for.
You just like watching these girls make idiots of themselves.
Morley smiles.
Perhaps.
Mary and Judith leave.
My parents are coming from Tarksonville for the last day of the festival.
Will they make it in time? That's a week's travel, isn't it?
Not quite so long. It only takes a day to reach Melbrook, and that's halfway in between.
Wow, you seem to know everything, Levi.
No, it comes through experience. We marched through Melbrook on our way to the Battle of Shinham.
The Battle of Shinham.
You remember it?
I do. I was there. It was before I moved to the 5061st Golden Birds unit.
How exciting!
My curiosity is at its peak. I've been dying to hear one of Levi's war stories.
That was one of the worst battles.
Levi nods.
I've always thought of war as nature's way to weed out the incompetent in humanity.
What?
That makes sense.
I've never thought of it like that, but I think you must be right.
That's...
Survival of the fittest and all that.
No.
Men who die at war just weren't strong enough to live.
Not like
That's
Levi.
not...
They can't be as good as you, Levi.
Exactly. If they were better, they would have lived.
The most arrogant, ignorant, how could you even... You don't know anything!
Morley puts her arm on Levi's arm.
Levi.
The best of men were those who never came back. I can't even compare to them in the sacrifices they made. You have no idea what you're talking about. You ignorant, chattering ninnies. You shouldn't assume things about which you know nothing.
Levi.
Levi turns his anger on Morley, but his face softens as her touch on his arm becomes firm.
You're scaring them.
Kitty has a tear in her eye. Eleanor has a nose wrinkled in disgust, and Bella's eyes are wide in horror. Levi brushes Morley off of him and storms off.
Oh no, we said something, haven't we? We didn't, did we?
What did we say wrong?
Morley rolls her eyes.
I'll find him.
Such a temper.
Franny's face goes red. Morley chases after Levi.
Levi! Levi!
Levi stops.
It would be best if I was left alone right now.
Morley hesitates.
All right, but when you come to your senses, you need to apologize to those women.
I'm not wrong. You should know that better than anyone.
I do. And you're right. But they're ignorant, and they don't know any better, but you do. That doesn't give you an excuse to treat them the way you did. I know you're upset, and you have every reason to be, but that doesn't give you the right to take it out on them. I know my brothers would agree.
Is that all?
We can talk more once you've calmed down.
Levi walks away. Morley joins the girls.
Is he okay?
He just needs a minute.
What happened?
He wasn't wrong. What you all said was terribly ignorant.
I have to go apologize.
Bella lurches forward, but Morley stops her.
Wait, give him some space. You can talk to him once he's calmed down.
Bella starts biting her lip as she frets.
War is terrible. There's nothing glorious about it. It's men killing men for stupid reasons.
That's terrible.
I don't believe it.
Huh?
If war was as terrible as that, then people wouldn't do it.
Morley shakes her head and starts walking away.
There's no reasoning.
Where are you going?
I'm going to join Mary and Judith. There comes a point when idiocy stops being entertaining.
Exterior park day. Levi, after finally calming down, joins a group of men. They scatter when Bella approaches.
I'm so sorry, Levi. You simply must forgive me and my ignorance.
It's all right. You didn't know. You couldn't know. It's better that you don't. And I have something to say to you all.
Levi walks with Bella and approaches Kitty and Eleanor.
Levi?
I'm sorry my temper got the best of me.
All is forgiven, but really, don't do it again, okay? It was unacceptable, really.
The fault was ours.
Oh, Levi. It must be so hard.
Excuse me. I need to speak with Morley as well. Where is she?
She said she was going into town to meet up with Mary and Judith.
Has she left already?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Levi walks away. Exterior road just outside park. Day. Levi approaches Morley, who is sitting on a stump. Morley notices his footsteps and looks up.
Finally calmed down?
Yes, thank you. You were right.
Morley nods.
And if it weren't for you, I might have said more that I would have regretted.
Morley nods.
Thank you.
Well, I learned how to keep my emotions in check a long time ago. I'm glad it could help someone else.
That sounded sad.
Morley shrugs.
What happened?
There was a lot of different things. But after a lot, I kept withdrawing deeper and deeper into myself. So I'm always in control. But comes at a cost. Sometimes I don't feel anything. I just numb. I wonder if I'm even alive.
On the ground, Levi sits next to Morley and her stump.
I have the opposite problem. I'm so overflowing with stimulating emotions that I often get lost in myself. I ask what's me and what's not. I can't tell.
Morley tilts her head curiously at Levi.
It was worse when I was younger. School was especially hard. Couldn't focus on anything. Everything new was a distraction. I was given the paddle more than a few times. I once yelled back at the teacher, but as you can imagine, the consequences were not in my favor.
Oh, yeah?
And you?
Well, I was a stellar student.
As I can imagine.
But at home, it was hard for me at home.
Was it your brothers?
My mother. It's silly, really. But I remember, I think I was about 6, and my stuffed rabbit had fallen into the river, and I was heading towards the rapids, so I was crying and screaming and crying, and my brother Daniel, he swam to get it for me, but he got caught in the rapids too, so I cried even louder, and my mother was there. She was screaming and screamed at me to shut up, blaming me, telling me Daniel would die because of me and my crying. I stopped crying. Father jumped in and rescued Daniel. It took him 2 weeks to recover, but he never blamed me. I half suspected he would have done it all again if it meant making me happy.
Did you get the stuffed rabbit back?
No.
Oh.
Morley rubs her palm.
That was when I stopped crying. It was easier that way. My mother being so emotional, it was easier to be a brick wall than to compete with her emotions.
That seems hard.
Not so much. It was safe. And, well, she's since apologized, and I've forgiven her, so...
But you're still scarred.
What?
Just a passing thought.
What?
Levi stands up and brushes himself off.
Say, I was planning a trip to the lake tomorrow morning. Perhaps you'd like to come?
Morley's eyes widen as a slight flush brushes her cheeks.
Sure.
I'd thought it would be a manly affair. Take some time for healthy brooding and all that.
Just as one needs.
Exactly. But I find that with you there, I expect the trip would be twice as pleasant.
Oh, but I wouldn't want to interrupt your brooding time.
Then you'll have to give me plenty to brood about. Do you feel up for the task?
It's as if I was born to it.
And if you change your mind, I'll think nothing of it. We can meet at the church. Yes. So, if you don't like me or spending time together, you can stand me up. You have my full permission.
I won't do that.
Say the weather becomes bad. I won't be put out in the slightest if you don't show up.
Do you want me to cancel?
Only if you want to.
I'll be there.
That's good. That's great. Great. Then, goodbye.
Goodbye, Levi.
Goodbye, Morley.
Scene 11. Morley's confession. Interior, in-room, night. Morley lies in bed, eyes wide open. She glances towards the window. The moon peers through cloudy skies. Morley gets out of bed. Interior, in, dining room, night. By candlelight, Morley sits at a table crushing her herbs with a mortar and pestle. Beside her are small pouches separated into piles, some full of herbs, some empty. Judith, dressed in night attire, walks into the room, rubbing her eyes.
Morley? What are you doing up?
Morley looks up.
I can't sleep.
I can see that.
Did I wake you?
What are you doing?
I'm making medicine.
Oh, are you okay?
There's a lot on my mind. Ought to do tomorrow.
Judith sits down next to Morley.
Do you need to talk?
Morley sighs.
Making medicine is easy. I put the same herbs together in the same combination, and it makes the same medicine. I know exactly what the results of my actions will be. Other things aren't like that.
No, they're not.
I need something routine, something predictable.
Is that what you want?
Morley puts the mortar and pestle down.
No.
Then what do you want?
I want... I don't know.
Morley's hand thumbs through the plants.
You have to wait for a plant to ripen. If you don't harvest it, it might get eaten by birds or bugs. Or it could rot on the vine, but if you pick it too early, it won't have the qualities you need. It won't be matured. But when you know that it's time to harvest, then you have to harvest. I mean, it's better not to waste time. It's just better that way. When you know, you know.
Morley picks up a plant.
This was picked too early. I won't even be able to use it.
Morley sets the plant down as Judith picks it up.
Don't some plants become ripe after they are picked?
Well, some do, yes, but that doesn't mean...
Judith waits for Morley to continue.
I think...
Morley looks out the window. Judith follows Morley's gaze towards the outside.
It looks like it might rain tomorrow.
I think I need some space.
Judith gets up.
All right. Let me know if you need anything.
Morley nods. Judith leaves. Morley stares out the window and takes a deep breath.
I need to tell him.
The little fire burns bright on the wax candle. Exterior churchyard, day. Morley waits sitting on a bench. Raindrops begin to fall. She looks up. Interior inn, front room, day. Levi paces around the living room. Judith sits around knitting. Levi glances at the pouring rain out the window.
Where's Morley?
She went out a while ago. I think she had an appointment.
She went to the clinic. We're supposed to go to the lake together. We were supposed to meet by the chapel, but it's raining. She wouldn't wait for me. Not in the rain. She wouldn't wait in the rain.
Levi watches the rain pounding down.
Probably. No, she wouldn't do that.
Levi paces.
You don't think she's waiting for me, do you?
I don't know.
Levi turns to the door.
Wait! Don't forget an umbrella!
Exterior churchyard, day. Levi runs to the chapel. Morley waits in the rain, sitting on a bench. She's drenched.
Morley, what are you doing? Are you trying to catch a cold?
He brings the umbrella to cover both of them. Morley smiles up at him.
You came.
Levi's heart thumps.
Of course.
He grabs her hand and starts dragging her away.
We need to get out of the rain.
Levi, I love you.
He stops. Eyes wide, he turns to her. Her eyes glisten with vulnerability, a soft pout on her lips.
I'm in love with you.
He pulls her into a hug.
Morley.
She snuggles happily against his shoulder. The rain pours. He pats her head. His eyes sink into a deepening sadness. He breaks the embrace, holds her shoulders, and stares into her eyes.
You're amazing, Morley, but I'm sorry.
With her brows scrunched, her eyes widen in terror and hurt. Her expression seems to ask, why? Even dripping wet and sad, she's hauntingly beautiful.
We're not a good fit. You're not what I'm looking for.
Slowly, the emotions drain from her face, till she resumes the blank, unreadable expression she normally wears.
Right. I knew that. I already knew that.
I'm sorry. I'm not. You're not. Sorry. You'll always be one of my best friends.
Yes. Don't apologize for that. You only need to apologize if you've done something wrong. There's nothing wrong in not returning my feelings.
Morley,
We should return. Thank you for coming.
She plows past him as he watches her sadly with drooped shoulders. Exterior inn, day. Levi and Morley walk up, both under the safety of the umbrella. Judith rushes out.
Morley, what have you done?
We need towels. She's wet, very wet and cold. She needs to get dry and be warmed up.
Judith takes her.
Of course.
Judith wraps a blanket around her and brings her close to the doors.
Okay, she's here now. She's back home. You're home.
Levi pauses, as if waiting for Morley to glance up, to speak anything. She stays hunched over in the blanket, staring at the ground.
Thanks for, yeah.
He takes a deep breath in, opens his mouth, and brings up his hand. Then breathes out and drops his hand. He turns and makes his way through the rain, the umbrella keeping him dry. Morley turns and watches him go till he's out of sight. She reaches out her hand, which extends out from under the safety of the roof. Rain falls on Morley's hand. She flips over her palm to catch the rain.
Hey, come inside. You need to get dry before you catch a cold or worse.
Interior, exterior, in porch, day. Morley is sitting at the porch, table set, wrapped in blankets.
Would you like something warm to drink? I have hot cider.
Morley watches the rain.
I'll bring some.
Judith goes inside. The heavy rain pounds the ground. No sign of letting up. Morley sits up and stares directly at the clouds. She stands, letting the blanket fall down around her. Like a woman possessed, she steps into the rain. With her head back, she lets the rain fall directly on her face as her entire body becomes drenched yet again. The rain collects near her eyes and falls down the creases of her face and down her eye sockets.
Is this what crying feels like?
She takes a deep breath in. A slight smile grazes her lips.
It's nice.
A mug slams on the porch table. Judith gasps.
Morley!
Judith rushes out and escorts Morley back to the porch.
Maybe you'll feel better after a hot bath, huh?
Judith takes Morley inside. The cider steams from its spot on the table. Scene 12. Morley cries. Exterior inn, day. Morley, with bags packed, stands across from Mary and Judith. Behind her is a stagecoach.
You sure you don't want to stay for the rest of the festival?
It'll be good for her to get home.
Judith hugs Morley.
Oh, take care for me.
They break the embrace.
You'll watch the clinic for me?
Leave it to me.
Thank you.
Mary hugs Morley.
Be sure to write me.
Mary grabs her shoulders.
Write me.
I'll think about it.
Mary grunts in exasperation.
Then you'll have to just visit.
Yes, I can do that.
Good.
Mary hugs Morley tight.
Are you sure you'll be all right?
Do I have to answer that?
Mary looks into Morley's downcast eyes.
I'll come visit. Soon.
Morley nods. Morley lifts her bags into the stagecoach and gets in. She waves goodbye. Exterior, road next to a large field, day. A coach rides along. Morley taps on the window near the coachman, Mr. Cole. The driver slides the window open.
Can we stop here for just a moment?
Exterior desert. Morley's brother's gravesite, day. Morley stands staring down at the gravestones. She looks like living death. A shine builds in her eyes.
I love him.
A tear falls from Morley's eye. Morley's eyes widen as more tears gather and spill out. Morley touches her face and catches a tear on her hand. Her brow constricts, her mouth opens to let out a silent wail. Her face contorts in pain as the tears stream down. Morley collapses onto her knees as she buries her face in her hands. Her body shakes with sobs. The coachman runs over. Scene 13. Levi looks for Morley. Interior restaurant, day. Levi stares out the window where he can see the medical clinic across the street. He is wearing Morley's gloves, tapping softly on the table with his index finger. He's sitting at a table with Frederick. Frederick is eating his food, watching Levi, being slightly annoyed at Levi's lack of focus. Levi is still as a statue. His food remains untouched.
You looking for someone?
Huh?
Is there someone you're expecting to see?
No, it's just like this. How my thoughts. They wander like the feet of a restless traveler, to and fro, never finding a destination.
If you say so.
Sometimes I wonder about what it's like to be ready to settle down, plant my feet, claim my land. Sow oats. But such a restless soul can never. To be free. And yet to belong somewhere. To think of one and then the other consumes the very thoughts. How can any man live this way?
Fred rolls his eyes.
Always looking. The moment you think you find it, it was never real.
Oh, you make a terrible bachelor.
And yet, it is the bachelor life that haunts my steps.
Are you going to be like this the whole time?
Sorry, Fred, this is just how I am.
Fred rolls his eyes. Levi stares out the window as Fred taps his hand on the table. Finally, Fred glances at his watch and stands up.
Oh, look at the time. I forgot I had an appointment. Looks like I've got to run. You'll pick at the tab, won't you, Captain?
Levi continues, staring out the window.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll catch up later. When you aren't so lost in your headspace.
Fred leaves. Levi takes a breath and sighs. The waiter comes by and sets a receipt on the table.
Here's your total.
Levi looks at the bill, then at Fred's empty chair, then at the waiter. His eyes widen.
Wait, what?
Exterior restaurant day. Staring at the medical clinic, Levi takes a deep breath.
Should I?
Levi takes a step.
No.
Levi turns away.
But I have to pass by. I could just go around. You're being ridiculous. Just go that way. Nothing will happen.
Levi crosses the street and goes in front of Morley's clinic. The door opens and Levi immediately turns around.
Levi!
Levi turns back.
Judith! I thought... So, where's Morley?
She's not here.
Tension visibly leaves Levi's body as his shoulders relax.
Oh, that's too bad. You're helping out then?
Just finishing up.
She won't be back anytime soon, will she?
I'm not sure. I hope she'll be back for the grand opening, but I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
She's gone. Gone home.
Why?
Judith stares at Levi. He squirms uncomfortably.
She wasn't feeling well.
Is she sick? Does she need, I don't know, medicine?
She's a doctor, Levi. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some odds and ends to finish up before the grand opening.
Is Morley... She'll be back for that?
Judith shrugs.
Excuse me.
She goes inside. Levi doesn't move. Levi, dear! Perfect timing, I say. Levi turns and sees Franny and Lottie walking down the street. You don't mind if I take some time with my dearest grandson, do you?
Oh, I won't miss you at all. I have a family dinner to get to tonight.
How lovely.
Ta-ta!
Franny smiles as Lottie walks away. Then she frowns in disgust. What an urchin she is. Walk with me?
Yes, I'd love to.
Exterior park day. Franny and Levi are walking along the road together. I've been meaning to ask you, but you've been in such a stupor since... You remember when it rained? Where did you go that morning?
I went... out.
I suspected as much. Was it with a girl?
Yes.
Good. That's exactly what I want to hear. When you like a woman, you need to go after her. Invite her out as you did. Yes, you're doing everything right.
No, I don't. She isn't, wasn't...
Now tell me, Levi, who is it that you have your eye on? You've seen plenty of options, some I find most favorable.
Grammy, who do you like?
I'm glad you asked. Bella. Easily, she's the best fit. You're both so alike, well suited to each other, I'd say.
I was thinking the same thing.
Good. Now, I wanted to warn you. Henry also has his eye on her, the cheeky fellow. So you'd better act fast or she might just be taken from you.
So that's how it is.
High-pitched laughing turns Levi's head. Bella, Eleanor, Kitty, and Henry are sitting down on picnic tables. Henry has his arm draped over Bella. Oh, look! What a coincidence this is! How nice would it be to join them? Of course, I'm too old and busy myself.
Sorry, Grammy, but I must take my leave.
Levi moves to the party. That's a good boy. Franny leaves.
Look! It's Levi!
Levi approaches. Once Bella sees Levi, she breaks away from Henry's arm.
Levi! Oh, I've missed you.
Ah, yes, 'tis only natural. To lack in longing would be only to lack the deepest feelings.
Huh?
It takes a poetic soul to be able to understand such deep thoughts.
Levi smirks.
Indeed.
Henry fumes.
You know, I know things about poetry. My favorite is a poem by... well, it's about flowers in the spring. The rhyming is very good. Flowers, April showers.
Levi, I feel like we're always looking for you. I'd almost thought you were avoiding us. How silly, right? You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that, not at all. I'm always up for the company of such lovely ladies. And I guess you too, Henry.
The girls giggle and Henry fumes.
Levi, would you like to join us? We were just going to play horseshoes. My parents will be arriving soon, too.
I'd love to.
You sure you have nothing else to do? Nowhere else to be? No doctors to visit?
Levi blinks, then regains his composure.
Of course, don't be silly.
Sure you're not busy?
Seems the man is intimidated to lose that horseshoe.
I've got $50, proving you're no match for me.
Your overconfidence will be your downfall, good sir.
How fun.
Levi, I hope you don't feel it a duty to come with us.
Never. Good lady, there's nowhere else I would rather be.
Bella blushes.
Hey, I feel the same.
Yes, we do need to start up a game before it gets too late.
And we shall. Bella?
Levi offers his arm to Bella.
Oh, yes.
Bella takes Levi's arm as Levi glances at Henry and gloats with his eyes. Henry frowns. Henry storms next to Bella. Bella glances between the two men and giggles. Eleanor follows in pouty stomps, while Kitty bounces along. Scene 14. Morley and her mother. Exterior plantation house, day. Morley stands out front, staring at the house. Her lip quivers. She bites it and covers her face with her hand.
This is awful.
Will you be all right, miss?
Yes, thank you.
She blushes, glances away, grabs her bags, and rushes into the house. Interior plantation house, hallway, door, day. Morley stands outside a door. She takes deep breaths, trying to focus, trying to hide away her emotions.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Stop it. Stop it. Stop crying. Stop it. Don't cry. Okay.
She wipes her tears, takes a deep breath, and opens the door. Interior, Patricia's room, day. Patricia, an older-looking Morley with a flair for the lavish, sits in the bed looking pale.
Hello, Mother. I'm home for a bit. I hope your health is well. I'm very busy, must retire. We'll catch up later.
Morley turns towards the door.
Morley?
Morley bites her lip again and fights back tears with gritted teeth.
Yes?
Come here.
A tear falls down Morley's face.
I'm very busy.
Patricia begins to get out of bed. Morley turns and rushes to her mother's side.
No, don't get up.
Morley is kneeling beside the bed of Patricia. Patricia wipes the tear from Morley's face.
You're crying.
More tears come.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mother, I'm so sorry.
Morley, you need this.
Patricia hugs Morley.
I love you. I'm here.
Morley collapses into her mother's lap and cries, the perfect scene of a mother comforting her heartbroken child. Scene 15. Horseshoes at the park. Exterior, park, day. A blue horseshoe gets thrown at a pole in the ground. Other horseshoes, blue and red, surround the pole. The blue are closer to the pole. Only one red is barely touching. The thrown blue horseshoe locks around the pole and lands in the red.
That's my one again there, Henry Budd. What say ye, another round?
Again.
He desires defeat yet again.
The girls, Bella, Kitty, and Eleanor, snicker. Henry's face reddens as he goes over and picks up his red horseshoes.
We'll see about that.
You're right. Perhaps I'm feeling a bit winded after beating you 5 times in a row. 6th time's the charm.
Buttercup, Bella's mother, taps Bella with her fan.
That Levi is such a charmer. So funny.
He's quite the young man, isn't he?
Ted, Bella's father, spits out a wad of tobacco onto the ground.
Henry, let me give you a rest. I'll go up against that Levi.
No, Teddy dear. This is between men competing for Bella's hand. You mustn't get involved.
Can't a father compete for his daughter?
Oh, Daddy, don't be silly.
Ted pulls out the tobacco again.
You go first.
Henry and Levi begin playing.
As much as I love this, Levi, don't you think you could spare a moment for me? I seem to have broken my parasol.
Sorry, my dear. I've been summoned to a challenge, and a man must face his quarry.
How gallant.
Levi throws a horseshoe, and it rings around the peg.
Teddy, see if you can help.
Teddy looks up from his tobacco.
Go on, don't leave the girl waiting.
Teddy grumbles and goes over to help Eleanor. Eleanor rolls her eyes and drops the parasol into Ted's hands. Henry throws a horseshoe and misses. Levi throws, and it lands just touching the peg.
He's so good at that.
Isn't he? Isn't it just impressive?
Ted, who is fiddling with the parasol, looks up. Henry throws again, misses.
His form is all wrong.
Buttercup pulls out a pocket watch on a dainty chain.
We'll have to leave soon, Bella. We're having dinner with your cousin Garth.
Bella makes a pouty face.
We are?
That's too bad. Levi's grandmother was going to invite us for dinner. We would have loved for you to join us, but you know, family comes first.
Levi gets another horseshoe around the pole.
Yes!
Perhaps Levi could spare an evening to join us?
What?
We'll have to ask.
We will.
You wouldn't deprive us of enjoying Levi's company, would you?
Levi and Henry are throwing the horseshoes with predicted outcomes. Henry is losing and Levi is winning.
Such lovely ladies you all are. You can't all favor only Levi. And who does he favor?
He's sweet on Bella.
Buttercup smiles as Bella blushes.
Not so. He's such a flirt. He's sweet on all of us.
I'd say he was sweet on Miss Morley.
Miss Morley?
She's successful, beautiful, kind.
But she has a quick tongue.
Buttercup looks worried as she glances at her daughter.
Bella?
I don't ever see them getting together. They're just too different.
Not like you and Levi.
Exactly.
Eleanor huffs in grunted disgust. Levi wins.
Let's call that a day, shall we?
Again.
Levi pats Henry's shoulder.
No need for further humiliation, my friend. Spare yourself this grace.
Henry picks up his horseshoes. Ted walks over to Henry.
What grand schemes are you ladies concocting?
The girls giggle, except Eleanor.
We were just excited for your grandmother's dinner tonight.
Ted walks over and gives Henry pointers at throwing horseshoes.
Oh, about that.
What?
Grammy had to cancel.
Oh, no.
She had something come up. She wanted me to vastly apologize on her behalf and promised to make it up to you ladies.
That leaves you free tonight, doesn't it? Perhaps you join us for dinner.
That would be ever so lovely.
It would be an honor.
But Levi, really?
Maybe we can come?
It is more of an exclusive affair.
Oh.
Of course. We'd never want to impose. That would just be too rude.
It's time we left. Teddy, oh Teddy.
Eleanor frowns from being ignored. Ted is standing next to Henry.
Now, when you're here, you want to bend your knees a bit. It'll give you a better sense of gravity.
Teddy, come on, dear. We're leaving.
Just a moment.
Teddy, we're leaving.
I'll show you another time, Henry.
Thanks anyways.
Oh, Henry, you mustn't feel regret. Being left like that, in that manner, I just feel so badly for you.
Come, Levi.
Bella smiles giddily. Henry frowns. Bella, Ted, Levi, and Buttercup leave.
Are we just going to let her leave like that?
No use going after a claimed prize. Oh, Henry!
Eleanor and Kitty go over to Henry, who puffs out his chest. Scene 16. Family gathering. Exterior garden party, evening. Evidence of eaten food on tables. Small family groups are talking and chatting. Bella and Levi are away from the main action of the party. Drinks in their hands.
Levi, you did so well today. I never knew you were so skilled at horseshoes.
Thank you. I do try to impress.
And how you succeed.
At the table, women chat. Ted is the only man at the table, surrounded by women, his wife included.
Shall we go inside to see Lydia's quilt?
Manny taps Ted on the shoulder and holds up a deck of cards.
Ted, would you like to join us?
I'll be right there.
Teddy, dear, I'd love it if you would help clean up the table.
She gestures to the dirty plates.
In just a minute. I'm going to go join the men at cards for a bit.
Teddy, the table needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Teddy.
Yes, I'll do it.
Now?
It's not going anywhere.
Teddy, what is the message you want to send to me by waiting?
Yes, fine. I'll do it now.
Thank you, darling.
Buttercup kisses Ted on the cheek as the women get up and move away. Bella sighs contentedly.
I just love my father. He is so considerate of my mother, and always does everything he can to show that he loves her.
Levi stares at Bella in a questionable eyebrow scrunch.
I want a marriage just like that.
Levi frowns.
Perhaps I'll go help him.
Levi goes to help Ted.
She tries to paint me out to be the bad guy, and never gives me a second for myself.
Levi stacks plates.
Where do these go?
Good man. Here.
Ted takes a few plates inside as Levi follows. Interior kitchen evening.
What a way it is to be in the position you are.
How's that?
To be in possession of the man's ideal, indeed.
Yes. I'll warn you now. All the dreams you have, it's less than them all.
Huh?
Yes, I had dreams. What I got was a wife that never leaves you alone. A daughter that expects you to take care of her every whim. When does a man get to be a man?
The high-pitched laughing of squealy women is heard from another room.
Never, I say. Never.
Well, yeah.
Levi quickly exits. Exterior garden evening. Levi walks outside, looking back at the house in worried concern.
Levi!
Levi jumps. He smiles and relaxes after seeing that it's just Bella. Bella closes the space between her and Levi.
I found a lovely walking path. Join me?
It's the very place we'll create dastardly plans.
Bella blushes and giggles.
Really now?
Exterior walking path, evening. Levi and Bella are walking a romantic path with flowers and trees lining the way.
You must tell me about the war.
No, I'd rather not.
You always get this way. Don't you see that I want to comfort you? Be a rock for you.
It's hard.
I want to hear about your glory days.
There's nothing glorious about war. It's men killing men.
Morley said the same thing.
She's right.
How can you say that? I understand Morley saying it, but you?
Morley? What about her? What did she say?
It's what she didn't say. I can never understand if no one explains it to me. I understand Morley being unable to communicate, but you? Really?
Morley is very clear at communicating.
She's clear, but there's no heart to it. I can't understand her meaning. She's so emotionless.
It's not that she's emotionless. She has a hard time showing her emotions. That's just how she is.
She just refuses to connect with people.
She doesn't... For instance, she can't cry. She's unable to. It's comparable to, a physical condition.
Why can't she cry? That's not natural. There's something wrong with her. She must be emotionally damaged.
It's not... She's not... Well, it's really just that... Of course she can feel.
Bella raises her eyebrows.
Really, Levi? Do you really believe that?
Her brothers died in the war. Of course she felt that.
Did she cry about that?
No, but that doesn't mean...
That doesn't make sense. If you loved someone, you should be able to cry over it. If you're feeling extreme sadness, you should be able to cry about it. If not, there's something wrong with you.
While that may be true, you'll see that once you get to know her, you'll see.
You're much stronger than I. I can't imagine being close to someone like that.
Like what?
Someone so cold and heartless.
Heartless? Just because she can't show her sadness or emotions doesn't mean that... Well, she still has a heart. She can still feel things. You don't know her.
I know enough.
You sound just like...
You know, a traveler must experience the journey, not just pass through it.
I'm talking to a mirror.
Aren't we so alike?
Is that a good thing?
But Levi...
It's none of our business. We don't understand what she's gone through.
But Levi, I've gone through hard things too in my life, yet I can still cry. Being able to show emotion is such an important life trait. Don't you feel the same?
Levi's jaw drops.
I did.
See? We're exactly the same. We're just a perfect duo.
That's exactly what I had thought.
Bella moves in closer to Levi. She lifts her face up to his and batters her eyelashes. Levi stares at her like a deer paralyzed by fear. Bella closes her eyes.
No, I don't want this. I don't want... You are just like me. I don't want this.
Levi turns and runs. Bella opens her eyes to see Levi running away. Confused and horrified, she watches him go.
Levi! Wait, Levi!
Scene 17. Levi's mental breakdowns. Exterior, little lake by park, evening. 3 teenage boys are fishing in the lake. In the distance, Levi is walking around the lake like a crazed madman ranting to himself.
Go back and apologize, you fool. Go back and apologize. I can't. I won't. You're a fool. Imbecile. She's everything. No! I need more.
You think he's on something?
Boy 2 and 3 shrug.
As a traveler, to have discovered a mirror on my journey, and yet the reflection is as hideous as the monsters once defeated. What is there to be done? The traveler must not embrace the mirror's image, yet that is what all want. That is what is needed, is it not?
Should we ask if he's okay?
Levi continues to rant and starts kicking the ground, getting louder.
No! The traveler wants more than what can be seen. More time, more telling. In this life, there's more to gain, more to lose, more to arrive, more to leave. More sky, more trees, more leaves, more to follow, more leaning on the edge, more leaps to bound, more leaks to plug, more
Levi's mouth hangs open, soundless.
Morley, you idiot!
Maybe we should go.
Yeah, you're scaring away all the fish.
How can a traveler discover greatness only to give way to nothingness? What kind of unworthy servant would render themselves to such dregs? Useless, undeserving, exactly. That's what I am. That's all there is to it. There's no changing such as I am. The course is set, the ship is sailed. All there's left to do is raise the flag and allow the wind to take me.
Interior, Franny's house, late night.
You're home late. I hope you were out with a girl.
No, I wasn't. I left the party early.
Not a good sign.
Grammy, I have decided I'm not ready for marriage.
Franny gasps in horror.
I'm too immature and irresponsible. Given an opportunity, I would squander it, like a bug, and ruin any good chance at a good thing. Of this I am sure. I thought I should inform you and hope that you are not too disappointed. Good night.
Levi begins to walk away.
Levi, get in here and sit down. Now you listen to your Grammy.
Levi stares at her, takes a deep breath while trying to remain respectful, and sits down next to her.
What happened?
Levi stares at her.
Answer me.
Levi looks away.
I don't like Bella. I thought I did. I don't.
Franny purses her lips.
Now, this is just a small setback. It takes time to get to know someone. Maybe tonight...
No, absolutely not. If I should marry Bella, I would hate myself for the rest of my life. For my future happiness, please, drop this.
Franny's jaw drops.
Good heavens, was it so bad?
Levi sighs.
It wasn't her exactly. I discovered that I need more than her. Specifically, not her.
Then what do you need? We can find it.
I need what I can't have.
And why is that?
If a man is worthy, he will receive that which is offered in the time that is right.
So you're saying, if a man isn't worthy, he won't obtain good things. And if a man is worthy, he will obtain, yes?
That's right.
Wrong! If a man is worthy, he will work for that which he desires. His efforts are what makes him worthy. For good or for bad, I've seen plenty of highwaymen obtain what they want, and they certainly aren't worthy of anything, those scoundrels.
You assume I haven't put in effort?
You're right, have you?
Good night.
Levi!
Levi stomps away.
I hope you feel better in the morning.
Interior, Levi's room, early morning. Levi is wide awake as morning sunlight peeks through the window. He glances to the window. He gets out of bed. Exterior, Franny's back porch, morning. Levi is cleaning his gun. He wipes down the barrel with a grimy rag. His eyebrows are furrowed in concentration, and his jaw is clenched from effort, and not anger or frustration. He begins to reassemble the gun, piece by piece.
Bella stopped by.
Levi drops one of the pieces, picks it up, puts it in place.
She was looking for you. Tomorrow's the last day of the festival. Aren't you going?
He drops another piece.
No.
And another.
All the shops and merchant stalls will be open. Should be a good time.
Levi picks up the dropped pieces and places them incorrectly.
You should go. Just because you don't like Bella doesn't mean there aren't other girls you could meet.
I don't want to meet any other girls.
He realizes he placed them incorrectly.
Well, that's a silly excuse. It's absurd for you to sit around here all day anyway.
Levi corrects his mistake.
Fine. Do what you want. Not like you'll listen to a senile old lady anyway. Doesn't matter how many years of experience I have. Means nothing to you.
Her voice trails off as she goes back inside. Levi wipes the gun again. Finally, he finishes cleaning his gun. He sees his skewed reflection in the silver of the gun.
I can't do this.
Levi gets up. Exterior, Morley's clinic, day. Levi paces the front of Morley's clinic. He knocks. He paces.
Judith, where's Morley? I must see her. Why? Because I must. I have some vital business to discuss with her. Yes, very well. Morley, I have some vital business to discuss with you. Yes? Yes. Morley, I come to you a humble fool, to beg of thee an apology. I know it will be undeserved to ask you such a bold request. I am merely an unworthy servant. But I ask you to reconsider me. I have failed you completely, but I intend to make up for my past mistakes. I intend to be the person you want, if you would still have me.
Levi stares at the door. He knocks. He paces again.
Judith, I've got to see her. Where are you?
Judith opens the door. Her eyebrow raises as she sees Levi.
Judith!
We're not open.
I'm not here for medical, Where is Morley? I must see her.
Is that so? What for?
I have some vital business to discuss with her.
Judith leans against the doorway, looking unimpressed.
Please. I need to apologize.
Judith sighs.
She's at home.
Where is that?
Rainsville. She lives in a big plantation house.
I can make that. Thank you, Judith!
Levi begins to leave.
If she asks, I didn't tell you.
Thanks, Judith!
Scene 18. Highwayman. Interior drawing room, day. Morley and Patricia are sitting at a table, drinking a warm tea.
Doesn't your clinic open soon?
Yes.
Shouldn't you be there?
Judith can... But yes, I should.
If you leave today, you could make it in time.
Mother, I don't want to go back.
Oh, is it too difficult?
I shouldn't let emotions hold me back from doing what needs to be done.
But you shouldn't force yourself either. You don't have to go.
Maybe I could if... Would you go with me?
Patricia puts her hand on Morley's hand.
I'd love to.
Interior carriage morning. Morley and Patricia are riding in a carriage as their coachman, Mr. Cole, leads the team of horses. H-Guy runs in the middle of the road. He is scraggly, dirty clothes, and wears a cloak.
Help! Help!
Whoa!
The horses come to a stop as Morley sticks out her head.
Help!
What's going on?
H-Guy pulls out a gun.
Get out! I'm taking this carriage and everything in it.
Please. There's medical supplies in there.
Shut it!
Mr. Cole gets off the carriage.
On the ground. No talking.
H-Guy goes to the carriage and pulls open the door.
Don't hurt them.
H-Guy shoots at Mr. Cole. It grazes Mr. Cole's arm. Morley grabs her bag and runs out to Mr. Cole.
Hey! 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 I said I'm taking everything.
He gestures to her bag.
He's hurt. Once I patch him up, then you can take it.
Very well.
Yelling at Patricia.
Now you want next? Well, get out.
Mr. Cole leans over to Morley.
Be careful. I recognize this fella. He's on a wanted poster. An escaped convict.
What was that?
He didn't say anything.
You recognize me? You know, I was gonna let y'all go. But I can't have any witnesses. You'll understand, won't you?
H-Guy aims the trigger at Mr. Cole. Morley gets between them. Exterior road day. Levi is riding along.
A humble fool. Beg an apology. Undeserved, unworthy. A true failure. I don't blame you if you feel resentful, but please reconsider me. I intend to make up for my past mistakes. I must make up for them. I intend... No. I will be the person you want, if you would still have me.
Please. You can kill me, but spare the woman.
Levi halts.
Shut up!
H-Guy smacks Mr. Cole with the butt of his gun. Mr. Cole lies on the ground, unconscious. Levi goes into sneaky mode, grabs his gun from his horse's saddle, and creeps up to the top of the hill overlooking the spot where H-Guy stopped Morley's carriage. He hides behind some boulders and a bush.
I told you to get out!
Levi sees H-Guy dragging Patricia out of the carriage. Morley pushes him away from Patricia. H-Guy smacks Morley to the ground. Levi cocks his gun and aims. H-Guy is in his sights. H-Guy points his gun at Morley. Bang! H-Guy drops down moaning, the gun having been accidentally thrown from his hands. Patricia grabs the gun. Levi comes running down the hill.
Levi?
Are you okay?
You shot me?
After being promptly kicked by Levi, H-Guy groans. Morley grasps onto Levi. Levi holds her and sees tears streaming down her eyes. His shock turns dark as his jaw clenches and fury burns in his eyes.
What did he do to you?
Levi points his gun at H-Guy's head.
I need...
I'll kill him. I'll kill him for making you feel this way.
my bag.
Patricia brings Morley her bag. Morley walks over to H-Guy as she holds on to Levi and drags him along. She opens her bag.
What are you doing? You can't help this scoundrel. He tried to...
He'll die. He'll die, Levi.
Levi halts. He watches as Morley opens her medical bag.
Help me.
Levi jumps into action, squatting next to Morley.
What do I need to do?
Secure him.
Levi holds H-Guy down.
Wait! What is she...
Morley stitches up H-Guy. Mr. Cole wakes up. Patricia sees to him. When H-Guy is finished being stitched up, Levi resecures his ties.
I'm done. He'll live.
Morley glances at Levi. Levi glances at Morley, confused.
What do we do now?
You're asking?
Morley stares at H-Guy.
What do we do?
Take him to the constable, if you're not opposed.
I'm not.
No, you can't.
H-Guy struggles, but can't get away. Too secure. He breaks down and starts weeping.
Pathetic.
Amazing.
What?
Wasn't it moments ago you're weeping in my arms? Now you dare to judge this man.
You were going to kill him.
I still might.
Morley ignores Levi and goes over to Mr. Cole.
How is he?
I'm fine. Just a bonk on the head.
Morley examines him.
It'll leave a terrible bruise.
Nothing that can't be healed. And the villain?
Detained.
Good.
Patricia is staring into an open field.
Look, we're here.
Morley looks. This is the spot. Her brother's gravestones.
May I?
Go.
Morley walks over to the graves and stands in front of them. Levi is done hitching H-Guy to his horse.
We ready to go?
He turns and sees Morley by the graves. Levi stands next to Patricia.
If you'll please give us a minute. This is the place where my sons were buried.
I'm sorry.
Do you know Morley?
Yes. I'm...
You're Levi.
Yes.
Not what I was expecting.
What?
Patricia walks away and begins to put away Morley's equipment.
What?
Levi shakes his head.
Why do they do that?
He sees Mr. Cole has taken position of guarding H-Guy. He looks over at Morley. He fidgets. He takes a deep breath in and exhales quickly. He walks up to her.
This is the place we first met.
Why are you...
She waits. Nothing.
Here?
Why am I... here? You were in danger. Of course I'd come. It's only right.
How did you know we needed help?
I was on my way to see you when...
You were coming to see me. Why?
You don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. Of course not. What am I doing here? I wouldn't want to see me. I'll leave. No, I can't do that yet. You probably think I'm an idiot.
Well, you have yet to prove otherwise.
You don't want me here.
I never said that. I'm glad you're here. And not only because you saved my life.
Oh, well.
I just don't know what you're doing here.
That is, to begin by saying, against your better judgment, you loved me, had desires, feelings of favorable... It was towards me.
Morley turns red and frowns.
What I have to say is, why is your piercing stare so disarming? I can't think of one darn thing I had planned to tell you.
If you're just going to blame me for your babbling, then we don't need to continue.
I'm no good with words.
The poet succumbs to defeat.
Can I just show you?
I'll allow it.
Levi kisses Morley. She is shocked, still like a statue.
What was that for?
The way a man feels about a woman, that's how I feel about you.
I don't understand.
Do I have to spell it out?
Yes. Because I can't believe that you're standing right in front of me telling me exactly what I want to hear.
Levi takes a deep breath.
I love you.
What about Bella? Weren't you two perfect for each other?
I pray that's not true. You were right about everything, and I've been a fool. I'm sorry.
Morley cries.
What have I done? You're...
No. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Her tears overcome her voice. She reaches out and Levi embraces her.
I'm sorry. I want to be better for you. You deserve better.
You idiot. I don't care about that. I just want you.
Levi pulls away and kisses her. Patricia comes out and laughs. Morley turns bright red. Levi bows to Patricia. Music swells. Fade out. Scene 19. The wedding. Text. 1 year later. Interior church day. Mary is sitting with Fred in a pew, a baby in her arms. Lots of guests. Most are recognizably members of the Golden Birds unit. Adelaide and her kids have grown. The front door is open. White heels clap onto the aisle. White dress like pure snow, and dark hair styled elegantly. Morley is being led down the aisle by the limping Frank McGovers. Levi gasps at her beauty. Morley passes by friends and family, Mary and Fred, George and Lena, Bella, Kitty, and a few young men. Eleanor is sitting next to Henry. Morley arrives at the altar and takes Levi's hand.
We are here to bring together the happy union of these two people.
Cut to. Morley puts a ring on Levi's finger. Levi puts a ring on Morley's finger. Cut to.
Go ahead and read your vows.
I vow to be your second half, to be the foundation you need to fly. I vow to love you through all we face in life together.
Who'd think you'd be so poetic?
You've rubbed off on me.
Levi reaches in his coat and pulls out a large stack of papers. He clears his throat and addresses the crowd.
May my vow be an everlasting expression of love. As a traveler...
Morley grabs the papers out of his hands, throws them. Then she grabs the collar of Levi's tux and kisses him. After recovering from the initial surprise, he wraps his arms around her, dips her, and kisses her back.
You may now kiss the bride, and I pronounce you husband and wife.
The congregation cheers. Exterior churchyard day. Franny and Lottie are watching the girls gather for the throwing of the flower bouquet.
I caught plenty of bouquets in my days. I was known for it, really.
Were you? The bouquet is thrown. Bella catches it. The girls all gather around her and giggle.
Look, Grandma! I caught it!
Oh, how exciting! Very, very nice, my dear.
Bella laughs. You're her grandmother?
Isn't she such a sweet girl?
He dodged a bullet with that one. I'd much rather he be married to that stone wall than be a part of your family. Can you imagine having to share grandchildren?
Oh, you're such a kidder.
Franny shivers. Large groups begin to gather as a surrey starts to make its way towards the gathering. Fred holds out his hand to George.
Pay up. I told you those two would get together.
George reaches in his pocket and pulls out a coin. He slams it into Fred's hand.
Oh, it's scary how good you are at predicting these things.
Fred grins.
You want to know who's next?
Bella and Kitty are surrounded by a huge group of young men, who all have their eyes on the girls. Bella and Kitty watch as Levi helps Morley into the surrey.
She looks so lovely.
Doesn't she?
The young men surrounding them all glare at each other. Eleanor touches Henry's arm and whispers,
"We're next."
Henry smiles at her. Fred and George watch the entire encounter.
Who?
Henry and Bella.
Henry and... No, but Eleanor.
Is that a deal?
No way. I'm not making any more bets with you.
Suit yourself.
The crowd begins to cheer as Levi and Morley ride off in a surrey. Brushing her hair behind her ear, Levi puts a paper flower tied with a blue ribbon in Morley's hair. The end. This has been an audio production of Echoes of Yearning, produced by Sofia Schofield and Emelisa Horlacher. Screenplay written by Emelisa Horlacher. Presenting the cast.
Jacob Day as Levi.
Teya Williams as Morley.
Emelisa Horlacher as Franny.
Ione Horlacher as Lottie.
Natalie Charal as Judith.
Vance Reynolds as Patricia.
William Nelson as Frederick Risley.
Emma Mary Currans as Mary Risley.
Eden Bostrom as Kitty.
Sadie Fox as Eleanor.
Sofia Schofield as Bella.
Blake Maurer as Henry.
Karen Schofield as Buttercup.
Kevin Condren as Ted.
Steve Mize as Frank.
Evelyn Simmerow as Adelaide.
Sarah Fincher as Isabel.
Kendra Joy Thatcher as Lena.
Bruce Otteson as George and Hugo.
Stephen Kesson as Manny.
David Horlacher as the priest.
Evelyn Simmerow as Waiter.
Caleb Teeson as Boy 1.
Andy Whipple as Boy 2.
Seth Richey as Boy 3.
Chuck Graves as Billy.
Kevin Condren as Coachman.
Steve Mize as H-Guy.
Emelisa Horlacher as Screen Directions. This project would not be possible without our amazing cast for giving their time and energy towards this project. Working with them has been an amazing experience. We hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and thank you for listening. We look forward to having you join us on our next projects.